Hello and welcome again to another episode of Truly Happy One. Do we have the will to fail? No? Gusto ba nating matalo? No? Or malugi, di ba? Hindi natin alam. Yan ang i-discuss natin sa episode na to. And before we start that topic, no, let me introduce ourselves. I'm Eric Calugdan. Together with us is Sir Enrico Garcia. No? I used to be an IT consultant for Unisys and then after that, put up my own business called Infotext. I am also the CIO of Philpax and CTO of Sante. You can call me a serial entrepreneur. Sir Enrico, on the other hand, used to be the retail operations manager of Shell, and then after that, he became the country manager of Herbalife. After Herbalife, he became the director of operations of Avon and one of the board of directors of the Direct Selling Association of the Philippines. Now, he is a mindset coach and also the director for international operations of Sante. And back months, no, way back June last year, no? Ito nga nasimulan itong Truly Happy One. And now we are at episode 50. Every week kasi iba-iba yung topics natin, no? We do this every Saturdays at 5 p.m. via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So kung bago lang kayo dito, make sure you put in your calendar Saturdays at 5 p.m. Facebook Live or YouTube Live, watch Truly Happy One, no? Para sabay-sabay tayong matuto paano nga ba maging world-class Pinoy, no? Yan ang ating mga dinidiscuss dito sa Truly Happy One. And every week, iba-iba yung topic natin. And this week, yung topic natin is about, do we have a will to fail? Ayan. So, Sir Enrico, ano ba tong will to fail?
Hi, good afternoon, Eric, and of course to our viewers. Wow, 50th episode.
Yes, 50th
Wow.
episode na.
Wow. So anyway, na ano ko lang. So wow, we've been it's been a while. So anyway, do we have the will to fail? Oftentimes, 'di ba, Eric, yung 'di ba because of abject poverty or yung matinding kahirapan or we've read stories, we've heard people that we know whose lives, masasabi natin merong will to live, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Lalo na yung mga people who were in war or in very extreme conditions, and yet they managed to survive, right? Oftentimes we talk about that willpower, that will to live, di ba? And yeah, that was the force that gave birth to further growth and improvement. There is another side to that, and this is the
Mhm.
work of one of the episodes we had last week, si Dorothea Brand, yung act
Mhm.
as if it were impossible to fail. In her work, she was saying merong counterbalancing action. Yung kung may will to fail, meron ding tayong, will to live, meron ding will to fail. Pero ito,
Mhm.
hindi natin masyado napapansin. Obvious yung will.
Subconsciously, parang
Correct.
ganon. Mhm.
Correct. Hindi siya masyadong noticeable. Now, syempre, medyo mano yan and we will break it down, di ba?
Mhm.
Parang nung una ko nabasa to, paano naman, who wants to purposely, di ba?
Fail.
Fail.
Correct.
Parang hindi di ba? But as you learn from her, tama eh. And let's talk about that. Diba?
Yan. So before natin simulan yan, sir, si Evelyn Katapang is watching us from VNG, watching
Oh,
us.
wow.
We also
Thank
have
you.
someone from Diliman, Quezon City watching us. Also
Salamat
from
po.
Facebook, from Parañaque, praying for safety of our kababayans around Taal. Yes.
Yes, correct.
And 2 episodes na lang, 1 year na ang Truly Happy One. Correct.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. Buena Fe is also
Salamat.
watching. Sabi niya, good PM po watching from Mandaluyong.
Of
Ayan.
course,
Thank
Buena
you for watching. Okay.
Thank
Yan,
you.
sir. Ating first slide.
Okay, so it's just a graphic yung will to fail, 'di ba? Kasi syempre, mas sanay tayo dun sa 'di ba? But ito nga, sabi nga natin, merong oftentimes unconscious yun. We're not aware of it, 'di ba? So, sige, next slide, Eric. I want to put out one of the, ito yung very famous si Marcus Aurelius, 'di ba? Roman 'di ba? And ito may relation siya, 'di ba, dun sa sinasabing will to fail. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live, while it is in your power, be good. Ang ibig lang sabihin nito, para nakakatakot, as certain as birth is, death is also certain.
Mhm.
So, ibig sabihin, may hangganan yung buhay natin.
Correct.
Okay? Ang ibig sabihin, alam natin we will only be here for a certain period of time. Pero kung mamuhay tayo, yung parang pabanjing-banjing tayo, ang parang walang katapusan yung ating buhay.
Aha.
Kaya nga, Eric, di ba, nangyayari yung sa deathbed, ano yung mga nagiging regrets?
Correct.
Remember? So,
Yes.
ito yung sinasabing, is there a will to fail that we are not too conscious of? And I'll give some examples and you will see that, yes, there is. And, for some people, baka sabihin nila, hindi siguro ano yan. But I'll describe the symptoms and then only the individual can determine kung honest to goodness, kung meron siya nitong will na to. Siyempre, you can't judge other people. But in my description, marami ako nakita. Myself in my early years included, I have many. I know people who obviously have this. Medyo controversial to. So, pag-usapan pa rin natin and it's up to our audience, of course, to accept it or to reject it. Diba? So,
Yes.
sige,
Ayan,
next.
watching din sa atin, sir. Gabby here from Parañaque. Hello to Sir Enrico and Sir Eric. Sabi
Always,
rin ni
thank you.
Ana V. Salvador, congratulations, truly happy one on your 50th episode. Thank you very much po. Also,
Maraming
si
salamat.
Dulce Vitog is watching us. Ayan.
Wow.
So, aside from this quote from Marcus Aurelius, actually may naalala ako, meron actually yan sa Bible, sa Psalm 90:12. Sabi doon, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Ayan. So, very important talaga na mag-compute naman tayo, di ba? Hindi tayo forever. Walang forever na buhay, di ba?
Correct.
Walang so far nakakatakas from death. Lahat
Exactly.
tayo dadating dun sa point na yan and kailangan bilangin na natin, di ba?
Maganda yung sinabi mo, Eric, yun, kahit yun sa Bible. Kasi, yun nga, nakakalimutan natin, may hangganan yung ating buhay. Some nga cut short because of whatever reason, accident, illness, di ba? So the point being made, di ba, is ikaw naalala ko dito you're always maximizing your time. Right, Eric?
Yes, sir.
Kasi ikaw, always, alam ko yun, dikit-dikit yan because you're trying to really, put all your effort into good use.
Yes.
Yun eh.
Walang, NDM. No dull moments.
Correct, di ba? And that's why actually ikaw yung naisip ko because I know you're meeting after meeting after meeting. You don't throw away. Di ba? In other words, you want to make real good use. You're putting everything that, God has given you in terms of talents, you're putting it to good use. And that's exactly what we will be talking about here because the will to fail is the opposite. Okay?
Yes.
So, sige.
Ayan. Okay. The will to fail.
Okay. I'll talk about just a few of the parang symptoms. And then I'll make it even more, like I'll talk about certain, not the person, but yung behavior nila na makikita mo that there really is a will to fail. Okay? And again, I understand this might be controversial for some. Abandonment of effort. In other words, hindi ka nagtatry. Parang if I'm not going to be very good at it, why will I even try? Or parang what's the use? Hindi naman ako mag-succeed. Di ba? Dikit-dikit ito dun sa topics natin, yung fear of failure, di ba? All of that, di ba? So, the moment someone abandons effort, lalo na somebody na talagang talented, Eric, I'm sure marami kang kilalang ganyan, di ba? Na they're academically smart, intelligent, yet they don't apply that. Di ba? That's their choice. Wala kang magagawa dun. Di ba? But that abandonment of effort is one of the symptoms of that intention na not to do what they're capable of doing. Maglalaro na lang ako at a lower level. Di ba? Withdrawal from struggle. Ito yung parang, the meaning is in the struggle. Sabi nga ni Stevie Wonder, one of, famous musicians. The meaning is in the struggle. Without the struggle, there is no growth. So people who avoid this or withdraw from that, that's exactly the intention. Di ba?
Mhm.
And yung releasing of desire and ambition, yung, oy, wag ka na masyado mag-ambisyon. Don't make your goals too lofty. Kasi baka hindi mo maabot. Baka hindi mo mano. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, you are capable of this much, but you choose to operate here.
Mhm.
Kung sa sports yan, pare, pang barangay lang tayo, doon na lang tayo kasi siguradong mananalo tayo. Yeah,
Sigurista. Masyado.
yes. You will not want to go to the higher level or leagues because you don't want to expose yourself to the possibility of failing, di ba? Not winning, di ba? So that it is in that context that your will is to fail, meaning not to be your best, not willing to put everything that you can into your effort. Ayaw mo talaga
Mhm.
kasi pwede ngang mangyari na hindi ka mag-succeed. Na kaysa
Mhm.
masabing failure, eh tama na to. So you're not operating according to what you're capable of. So
Mhm.
yan yun. Okay medyo ano yun Eric. So mamaya alam ko
Yes, yes.
ipoprocess mo yan, di ba?
Sige, sige.
So baka may question ka ngayon pa lang, di ba?
Um, related ba to, sir, dun sa kasabihan sa Pinoy, no, na ningas kugon, yung abandonment of effort?
Yes, yes. So umpisa ka lang pag humirap na, magwi-withdraw ka from the struggle. Pag may
Aha.
struggle, 'di ba? Maram
Nag-i-stop ka na, abandon mo
oh,
na yung kung
oo.
anumang effort yun or
Oo, wag na.
opportunity.
Wag na. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
Basta na-test ng konti, it connected to dun sa yung dati natin topic, 'di ba? Na yun, yung sa growth mindset. Pag may setback, pag may konting difficulty, ay ayoko na.
Oo.
Hanap ka naman ulit ng bago. And makikita mo sa next slide, nakadikit ito.
Aha.
Ikaw talaga,
Okay.
magaling ka.
Sige,
Meron
sige.
nga ng preview, di ba?
Okay, okay.
Dito mo makikita to. Next slide.
Ayan. Before sa next slide, sir, ayan, nanonood sa atin si Philip ko watching from Quezon City. Ayan.
Salamat
Thank
po,
you po
Philip.
for watching. Okay, next.
Ito yon. Often unconscious. You feel life so full of secondary activities or substitute activities that there will be no more time in which to perform the best work of which one is capable. Ibig sabihin, pinupuno mo yung buhay mo ng secondary like, hindi, ako kasi nag-aalaga ki ganito, di ba? When you are, hindi ko sinasabing hindi okay yun. Pero ginagamit mo yun, yun yung ipupuno mo sa buhay mo para wala ka ng oras to put yourself in a situation to perform the best work. The reason you don't want to perform the best work is there's a possibility that you may not succeed. Nakuha mo, Eric? So, ito
Correct.
yung will to fail. Ang purpose mo talaga is not to see how far you can go. So, in other words, di ba? It is a will to fail to your own potential of what you're capable of. Di
Mhm.
ba? Kasi everyone can do and get close to their potential. In fact, unknowable talaga yun eh. If you keep improving and improving and improving. Di ba?
Mhm. Mhm.
I know it's a little bit tough to but it's true. And okay, I'll talk about real people. Kaibigan ako, wow, fantastic education, fantastic academically smart. But ayoko man sabihin he's classic example nito.
Mhm.
Never putting himself in that doing so many little things na so far below what he's capable of. Again, I'm not judging his side. That's his choice.
Mhm.
But the intent is really, maybe, pangit lang sabihin the will is to fail, but you can do the reverse. The will not to succeed. Di ganun din yun.
Oo. Actually.
Di ba?
Yes, yes.
So yun yun, Eric eh. And it is not too common. Hindi natin napapansin. Kaya nga, very sinister siya. Kasi
Mhm.
hindi masyadong napapansin. It's
Mm.
very, it gets into your subconscious na, hindi, ako kasi kailangan ko alagaan si ganito. Ako kasi kailangan ko alagaan si ganito. You have all kinds of, not to put all your effort. Ikaw naalala ko eh. 'Di ba? Kasi ikaw, you're constantly finding that, wala kang tigil, improving the technology, always putting it higher and higher and higher and improving and improving and improving. You never fill your life with secondary. You could choose to. Hindi ako nagpapaaral sa mga anak ko eh. Hindi akong breadwinner eh. Of course, I know you
Correct.
do that. But because
Mhm.
ikaw, hindi mo succumb to the will to fail. You're always pushing yourself. Always seeking to get better. Tama ba, Eric?
Tama.
Doon
And
kita
that's
na,
actually the
Eric.
only way to be successful, no? Sa kung ano mang mga linya natin sa buhay, sa negosyo, sa trabaho, no? The only way to really be successful, no, is to improve yourself. Yun nga, 'di ba may topic tayo before yung 1% at a time, no? Or 1% per
Exactly.
day. Always strive for improvement kasi kung hindi, you're actually degrading yourself kung pare-pareho lang everyday yung ginagawa natin or natututunan natin.
Yes. And yun nga, nagsasakam ka dun sa will to fail. Okay, when we say
Mm.
will to fail, it's hindi mo talaga pine-pursue what you're capable of. 'Di ba? Yun. You're
Hindi mo na
capable of so much
ma-maximize.
more. Oo, pero
Oo.
pipili ka ng secondary activities na mas madali para mapuno yung araw mo or yung buhay
Which
mo.
is ano 'no, napakadaling gawin 'yan ngayon 'no, dahil ang daming mga bagay
Oo.
na puwedeng kumain ng oras. Ang dami.
Yes.
Meron kang YouTube, meron kang Netflix,
Netflix.
meron kang games, 'di
Sobra.
ba? So, sobrang daming mga bagay ngayon na napakadali kahit naka-lockdown ka sa bahay, talagang kakain ng oras mo na yun yung secondary nga no na hindi kailangan or excuses no na sobrang
Correct.
busy nila. Lahat naman tayo
Correct.
24 hours meron sa isang araw pero bakit yung iba mas marami nagagawa sa isang araw, 'di ba? Kaysa dun sa iba.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, yun nga. And then, kaya tama yung rin yung kay Marcos Aurelius, yung parang, ay hindi, pag perfect na yung time, pag ready na ako.
Mm.
Kaya nga tama siya, di ba? Why? You don't have 1,000 years on this earth.
Correct. Correct.
That's why the perfect time is now. There's never a perfect time. And I'm guilty of that as well. Di
Mhm.
ba? I find myself in certain things, parang it's gonna be there forever. Then I catch myself and say, oh nga, you don't even know if you're gonna be around, di ba?
Correct.
So, spring into action, di ba? Meron ako
Prepare.
noon. Oh,
Yes,
spring
prepare
into
agad.
action. Oo. So,
Yes.
I'm
Ayan.
not exempt. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, may question po dito from Facebook, no? Kaya po ba hindi umuunlad ang Pilipinas? Masama maging ambisyoso, huwag magpaka-martyr. Cultural issue?
Um, okay. You have several parts there. Number one,
Mm.
sabihin ko yung sadly tayo if you go back to history, nagamit yun, 'di ba? Na masama yung to aspire to be ambitious. In fact, Eric, you can, probably, lean in on this kasi pinosisyon sa minds natin, conditioning, masama yun pag ambisyoso ka from a religious standpoint.
Yes,
I practice
actually.
my faith, 'di ba? And it was done in the wrong way, 'di ba? Na
Mhm.
masama, basta pera, ambisyon, ibig sabihin masama ka. That's how it was programmed. So to that extent, hindi tama yon. In fact, if you want to produce for the betterment of humanity, you have to be ambitious,
Correct.
'di ba?
Yes.
'Di ba?
Actually,
And
isa
if
sa ano rin nakaka-influence no itong mga recent times. So meron silang survey no na ginawa about who is influencing you no sa iyong mga decisions or sa iyong mga principles sa buhay no. And isa sa pinakamalaki, actually nasa top 1 na item no na nag-i-influence sa mga tao is entertainment no or mga movies, mga ganyan, no? In fact, kung mapapansin mo rin, dyan sa mga Happy Meal, di ba? Before, usong-uso yung Happy Meal, yung mga Jollibee meals na yan. Yung products nila, yung items na yun, is based on kung ano yung kaka-launch lang na palabas na movie na pambata, di ba? So, yun yung ganun ka-influential itong mga pinapanood natin. Ngayon, of course, Netflix na, YouTube, yung mga influencer na yan, no? And yung hindi pa yung mga personal na talagang raw na influencers, no? Doon tayo dun sa mga movies, no, na napapanood natin or sa mga telenovelas na napapanood natin mga 5 years, 10 years ago. Mapapansin natin, no, na yung mga mayayaman, sila yung pinoportray lagi na kontrabida. Di
Correct.
ba? Tapos
Na
yung
masama.
mga
Yeah.
na masama. Tapos yung mga mahihirap, sila naman yung bida, no? Sila yung mga kinakawawa, sila yung bida. So, yung ganong klaseng messaging actually subconsciously, no, pumapasok sa atin na kapag mayaman ka, parang maling way
Bad.
or illegal yung
Bad.
ginagawa mo dahil yumaman ka ng ganong kayaman. In fact,
Correct.
hindi po actually. There is a way, no, to get wealth the right way, 'di ba? At hindi lahat ng mayayaman ay kontrabida, no? Or
Correct.
nasa mali yung source ng kanilang pinagkakakitaan. And katulad nga ng sinabi ni Sir Enrico, hindi rin tayo makatulong sa mga kababayan natin kung wala naman tayong maitutulong, 'di ba? Kung wala tayong funds para ipangtulong, 'di ba? So, very important talaga na mabago yung mindset natin, no? Na alisin natin yung mindset na kapag mayaman ka, siguro may masama kang ginagawa or illegal kang ginagawa,
Yeah.
no? Or kapag ikaw yung kinakawawa or kapag mahirap ka, ikaw yung bida, ikaw yung nasa tama, no? Hindi rin ganon, hindi rin tama yung ganong mindset, no? So, yan ang sinasabing poverty mindset. So, iwasan po natin yan.
Right. So, dun sa question, wag magpakamartir ko. Ito related dun sa sinasabi mo, yung underdog. Kasi sa sine, syempre, we all like underdog, yung api. Tingnan mo yung, if you look at all the old movies, it's always yung api. Papabugbog ka muna, di ba? Pabugbog ka muna bago ka, okay, wag na tayo magano. But, I mean, for movie, yes. Di ba? But in many ways, exactly to your point, yun nangyayari sa buhay. Sabihin natin, kayo yung mayayaman, kayo yung ano. When in fact, di ba, how many of those wealthy people actually help the church, help the other, So, hypocrisy. Ito yung kanyang wag magpakamartir, di ba, na hypocrisy din eh. You will criticize all of that, tapos you also benefit from their, being generous. So, yun yung point na inano. Kaya maganda yung ano niya, di ba? We have to get rid also of that, di ba? Yung hypocrisy. You have to be ambitious, di ba? Now, how you do it, of course, yun yung importante. Di ba? Pero yun nga, di ba? Huwag di ba, na don't try to live a life na yan, kikita mo, kano kalalim yung Meron ako, relative ko, ganyan na ganyan. Wag, masama, yumaman. Sabi ko, utang ka ng utang. Sabi ko, I mean, really.
Masama maging mayaman pero pautang.
Exactly. Kasi, he fills his life with so many secondary. He's always doing so many other things other than what he could be good at to justify.
Yes.
Exactly. Kaya nga when I was reading,
Correct.
sabi ko, wow, totoo to. Yeah,
Correct.
and you know, in your circle of family, friends, there's some na ganyan. Now, don't go to them, tell them. It's just that you wonder, di ba? Parang, this guy capable, so capable. People of lesser have applied themselves and achieved, things that help not just themselves, but other people too.
Correct.
Diba? So, it's a dying to your potential. Yan. Parang yan yung summary. Parang you die to your own potential of your own choice. Diba?
Sabi ni Buenafe, the only reason you will not fail is if you don't try anything at all. Meaning you have not put your learnings into action.
Of course. Kaya nga, di ba, some people, mas importante, hindi ako nag-fail. Oh, okay. So how many times did you try? No, I never tried. Oh, no wonder you never failed.
Correct. Sabi rin ni Lai, ayan, ni Miss Lai from VNG, we cannot give what we don't have. Tama.
Siyempre. Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Di ba?
Yes.
So,
sabi rin ni Buenafe. Yes, sir. Sabi rin ni Buenafe, you are likely to fail if you allow yourself to be threatened by past failures. Ayan.
Yeah. And again, this...
Meron
siyang
question. Sabi niya, is being a great critic of one's own work or project be a reason for one to fail?
Well, there is good to it, di ba? That you yourself are parang, yeah, I could do this better. Maybe I won't say critique, di ba? But if the intention is, how can I make this better? Then it's good. Now,
Mhm.
um, as we've also been programmed to be in, oh, maging kontento ka na sa buhay mo. Why do you keep focusing on what you don't have? Why don't you focus on what you have? Well, that has to be in context. Baka you're talking material wealth, di ba? I'm quite happy. I'm not quite happy that, let's talk about Wimbledon, okay? Si Roger Federer. Everybody
Mhm.
loves Roger Federer. He's come back from injury. And he won his first round match because nag-retire yung kalaban na injury.
Mhm.
But you could see, and he himself said, no, that's not my game. Malayo pa siya. Kasi matagal siya natigil, he had surgery, he's coming back. So you can see he himself is parang, no, that's not my standard of play. You can
Mhm.
see that, siya mismo, he feels na malayo pa ako dun. Kung ano yung dati kong laro. Diba?
Mhm.
And he's saying, yeah, I'm still working to get there. Okay?
Hmm.
So, in that sense, okay yun na, o nga, yung hindi pa ako kontento, he critiques his own work, yung parang, hindi, yung timing ko is not yet kung what it can be. And that's
Ayan.
okay.
Correct. Yeah, may question dito, sir. Si Buenafe, sabi niya, can unrealistic goals set up people for a sure failure?
Well, again, realistic, unrealistic, that's all your, di ba? And yes, it can. And that's why some parents or friends, di ba, they tell you, hey, don't aspire na for that kasi baka ma-disappoint. Yeah,
Mhm.
meron ako ganun. Wag mo nang pare masyadong ambitious 'yun. Wag mo nang kasi baka yung bata. Hindi talaga. Sinabihan
Aha.
ako, wag mo nang pa-aspire 'yun kasi pag hindi niya naabot, madi-disappoint. Kasama nga yung struggle eh. Kasama nga yung effort, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Depende kasi how you respond to it, 'di ba? What did it teach you? What did you learn?
Correct.
Could you have prepared for it better? Could you have could you have worked a little harder?
Mhm.
Hindi ba? Or you can say,
Correct.
ayoko na. Parang program, sumulat ka ng program, nag-crash, Eric. You
Mhm.
fold your arms and say, ayoko na, hindi na ako programmer.
Walang pag-asa 'yun pag ganun.
Ilang beses ka nagfe-fail, Eric, pag nagsusulat ka ng code. Huwag mo sabihin sa akin, every time you write code.
Marami.
Oh,
Maraming
marami.
beses. Yes.
Oh, ilang crash,
Minsan
Eric. Ilang
oo,
crash.
maraming crashes. In fact, minsan ang tagal-tagal mo nang iniisip bakit mali yung lumalabas, bakit error yung lumalabas. Yung pala kulang lang ako ng semicolon, yung mga ganun. Ang liit-liit na bagay pero yun yung nagko-cause ng error. And talagang nangyayari at nangyayari talaga yun. And you really have to look for yun nga, yung bug na sinasabi nila and fix yung bug na yan.
Correct. Some people take years to write the perfect code. Okay, code. Yeah, I'm speaking the language of Eric, di ba? His
Uh-huh.
world, di ba? When you write the programs, basically the language to make the computer do what it does, di ba?
Mhm.
So, imagine to put all of that together. Huwag mo sabihin sa akin, isang sulat mo eh, di ba? It's like writing a song. Ang pangit nung lyric or parang wala dun sa rework.
Yes. Merong note na mali. Oo. Or
Oo,
may beat na
parang
mali.
parang ang pangit, parang mali. And then they redo it, then it gets better. Like your
Oo.
code, your program, di ba?
Correct. Correct.
Parang ang bagal. Ay, ang layo nung pwedeng ma-shortcut pala. Oh, di ba?
Mm.
So, it's
Yes.
yeah.
Correct, correct. Ayan. So may last slide pa tayo, sir.
Yes.
Ayan.
And this is the last slide that comes from a great guy, si Paul Coelho. I always follow him. And this really, in very simple terms, is be brave. You have to take risks. Nothing can substitute experience. Diba? Remember, you don't have 1,000 years on your life. We will get to the point where we are so weak, we no longer have our mental faculties, and we will all eventually expire. Now, okay, don't get scared, but that's gonna come our way, right? And that is the point at which pwede mo siguro sabihin, don't give your best kasi at that point, obviously wala na. Kaya nga yun ang sinasabi, while you're still okay, be brave, take risks, because experience as they say, is really the biggest teacher. Di ba, Eric? We can
Yes.
theorize, we can ano, but until it happens, then that's when the wisdom really kicks in. Di ba?
Yan yung sinasabing ang charge to experience, di ba, sir?
Yes, and it's the best teacher, which is so true. And sometimes
Correct.
it's the painful experience which is the greatest teacher. Di ba? Sabi natin, the truth is always hurtful, yet it is the most helpful.
Correct. Parang sa
Di
mga
ba?
bata, 'di ba? Sasabihan natin sila na, anak, wag mong hawakan yung kalan dahil mainit. Wag mong hawakan dahil mainit. Pero hahawakan pa rin nila.
Napaso.
Napaso, no? Doon pa lang sila actually matututo. Doon pa lang sila, yung experience na yun na napaso sila, yun yung matatandaan nila, yun yung maiintindihan nila. At dahil doon, susunod sila na mainit
and,
talaga yung
and
kalan.
they're be-
Huwag
and they're
hawakan.
yeah, and they're better. They now know better. Let me end it
Yes.
lang by I'll never forget this, Eric. Actually, all of this bumalik sa akin when I remember one day, one of my boss in Shell pulled
Mhm.
me aside. Nagulat ako. And then, yung mukha niya, I knew something was wrong. And sabi niya sa akin, alam mo, kung hanggang dito lang yung potential mo, wala na akong hihingin beyond that. Kasi kung yun lang yung potential mo eh.
Correct.
But it was a project I was leading. Pero sabi niya, ikaw, hindi niya napigilan sarili niya eh.
Mhm.
Ito yung potential but you're operating here.
Mhm.
I never forgot that. And he said, you know it, I know it, you're so capable of operating at a higher level. But
Mhm.
why are you not? And doon ako talaga na ano, it was painful to hear that.
Mhm.
And he was right. There was something na naiinis ako.
Mhm.
And that's why purposely I was not putting everything. Kumbaga sa laro, yung parang naglalaro ka na lang para na lang for the sake, yung parang alam ko nang talo parang wag ka na lang maglaro, 'di ba?
Half-hearted, di ba? Yung sinasabi, half-hearted.
Exactly. I
Oo.
never forgot that. And that's why I
Mhm.
said, this is so true. The intent
Mhm.
was to play below what you're capable of.
Mm. Or
Yun
cruise
nga.
ka lang. Hindi ka
Oh,
talaga into a race.
oh, to
Nagku-cruise ka lang.
to fail to your own potential. That's what it means. This
Yes,
is your
yes, yes.
capability Pero nandito ka lang.
Sabi ni Buenafe, please comment, sir. Procrastinators and disorganized people are likely candidates for failure.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, correct.
Not because
Sabi
they
niya,
cannot. Not because they
mm,
cannot. By choice, they do that.
by choice, they fail. They choose to fail. Oo.
Yes.
Sabi
Yes.
niya, failure should be seen as temporary and not a hole that you see yourself forever stuck in. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people, yan nga, yan yung will to fail. Wala talagang sinubukan ko na, hindi ako nag-succeed, nag-fail ako, wala na talaga. Bakit?
Correct, correct.
Bakit sino ba hindi nag-fail? It's your response to the failure ang pwede mong ayusin. Kaya nga tama,
Yes.
di ba? May will ka talaga to fail. Not to...
Subconsciously.
Correct. Correct.
Oo. Ayan, nanonood din sa atin si Angelica Lay Laude. Ayan, thank you po for
Oh, wow.
watching.
Thank
Ayan.
you.
Sabi nila, tolerance for failure may be learned or taught. Salesperson have high tolerance for failures and no. Basically, it's because they are trained to accept no.
Yeah, or no can mean
Not yet.
not yet, not
Oo.
now, 'di ba?
Oo.
Or next
Correct, correct.
opportunity or
Yes.
next opportunity, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So, yun nga 'di ba? It's how you operate, 'di ba? So, do you operate to that what you're capable of? Kasi the no can be bakit kaya? What could I ano? Meron ba talaga akong connection? It was related to sa tip of the week kanina, 'di ba? Ano ba yung importante sa kanya, 'di ba? Baka kaya no ngayon kasi hindi mahalaga dun sa taong yun ngayon.
Hindi yun yung importante sa kanya ngayon.
Wala namang masama
Correct,
nun.
correct.
So, timing lang. It could be later on.
Correct. Parang every time nga, 'di ba, before nag-ano tayo yung parang mga sales training, no? Yung laging pina-example ko is yung stewardess, 'di ba, sa eroplano. Matagal na tayong hindi nakalipad, sir.
Oo nga.
Soon lilipad tayo ulit. Pero anyways, no, yung stewardess, 'di ba? Pag dumaan siya sa aisle, 'di ba? Sabi niya, "Sir, would you like coffee, tea or juice or water?" 'di ba? Tapos sa next naman, "Sir, would you like coffee, tea or juice?" 'di ba? Pag sinabi mong coffee, hindi naman magrereklamo yung stewardess. Bakit ayaw mo ng juice? Juice dapat ang
Exactly.
kunin mo, 'di ba? Hindi naman gano'n yung stewardess, eh. So, may choice yung kausap natin or yung pinagbebentahan natin, no? So, kung yun yung choice nila, then okay, go to the next
Next.
passenger, go to the next client, 'di ba? Yun nga, next opportunity, 'di ba? So, gano'n dapat yung mindset natin. Hindi hindi sila nagno-no sa atin as the stewardess, nagno-no sila dun
Yeah.
sa choice. 'Di ba? Yun
Yes.
lang. Don't take it personally. No, they're not saying no to you. They're just saying no to what is that you are offering them. 'Di ba, Sir
Yeah.
Enrico?
Correct.
Ganun yung mindset natin. And kapag yung mindset natin ay pag sinabi nilang no, feeling natin tayo yung nire-reject. Hindi po. Hindi ka talaga magiging successful as a salesperson. Pero yun nga, you have to learn the truth na they're not saying no to you. They're just saying no to what you're offering. 'Di ba, Sir
Right.
Enrico?
Yeah, and Eric,
Ayan.
remember we've been together in this ano, 'di ba, na how many times yung nag-no sa atin a year and a half after, sila pa yung, "Oh,
Bumabalik.
yung ginagawa mo pa ba 'yun?" 'Di ba? All of a
Correct,
sudden they're
correct.
ready and you're wondering why. Well, who knows what
Nag-iba yung
happened?
kanilang ano, yung milestone
Circumstance.
sa buhay nila. Yes, yung kanilang circumstances nag-iba. So, yes, no, pwedeng no, pwedeng not yet, no? So,
Yeah.
or wala pa sila doon sa circumstance na kailangan nila yung ino-offer ninyo, no? So, just move on, di ba? Wag masyadong magmukmok. Hindi kayo yung sinasabihan nila ng no. Ayan, sabi ni Sir Gabby, Jesus set a very ambitious goal to his apostles, to us, no? They have to get out of their fears, comfort zone, or excuses, or yung will to fail, sabi ni Gabby.
Exactly,
Ayan.
'di ba? 'Di
Correct.
ba? Drop everything, leave ano and go take up your cross, 'di ba? And
Yes.
leave
Ayan.
nothing and just follow. Yeah, sorry, there was an
Yeah, sabi
experience.
ni Ella Reyes, experience is the best teacher. Correct.
Of
Pero,
course.
meron pa actually betterer teacher. It is learning from other people's experiences. 'Di ba? Alam mo na ginawa nila, nag-fail sila dahil ginawa nila 'yon. Wag mo nang ulitin, 'di ba? Learn from other people's experiences. That's actually the best teacher, no? Learn from their mistakes. Pag sinabing mainit yung kalan, paniwalaan mo na mainit yung kalan. Wag mo nang hawakan yung kalan, 'di ba? And in line with that, no, it's very important din. Ako minsan pag kumukuha ng mga books, for example, or nanonood ng YouTube, ang mga pinapanood ko or binabasa ko are actually mga demographic, ano tawag doon? Biographies, no? Biographies.
Yeah.
Stories ng mga successful people at paano sila naging successful at ano yung mga mistakes na nagawa nila, na na-experience nila, na na-realize nila na ito pala dapat at ngayon successful na sila. No? So,
Exactly.
that way, you are learning from their experiences. Hindi mo na kailangan pagdaanan pa yung nadaanan nila. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Matuto ka na dun. 'Di ba, sir?
Correct. Correct. So,
Ayan.
yun nga, 'di ba? And that's why even ikaw kung wala ka nung ability to learn from that, 'di ba? Yeah. So be brave, 'di ba? Yung last slide natin, take risks. Of course that
Correct.
okay, let's not be literal. Yun ang problema eh. Sabi take risks. So, wag ako mag-isip. No, of course not. 'Di ba? That's not what we mean, 'di ba? Take risk means okay, ito yung ito yung upside, ito yung downside. So, okay, if I'm fully aware, sige, maybe I can minimize my risk, but you do have to take some risks. Maaaring mali, 'di ba? You propose something, sa tingin ko it will work. It can work or it may not work as much as you want it. Adjust ka. Bakit kaya? What can I do to make it work? 'Di ba? That is
Yes.
yan yung operating to your best. Hindi yung will to fail na wala na, hindi na. Sinubukan ko na yan, therefore it will no longer work.
Correct, correct.
Di
Ayan.
ba?
Sabi dito, buti na lang, those who set up community pantries and other charities had no will to fail.
Well, yeah,
Correct.
I mean, yeah, they're out of the goodness of their heart, and if that's what they're really good at, then yeah. But there are also some who will do that as their little excuse. Okay, and I know that might be offensive to some, but there are some people like that. They fill up their life now with secondary. Lalo na if they're so much more capable of bigger things. Okay? Yan yung talagang deliberately. Kaya nga tama yun, di ba? You fill up your life with secondary or substitute activities para mapuno yung araw mo, para masabi mo, wala na talaga akong oras eh. But you're capable
Correct.
of this much, di ba?
Yes. Ayan. Question dito from Benefe. Sabi niya, why do very successful people, when asked about their success journey, are likely to reply by telling the worst failures they've been through?
Very good, Buena Fe, because it is from those failures that they became successful. That is where they learn. When it is painful, that's when you really learn the lesson. And I will guarantee any successful person will have a lot of those failures. In fact, si Thomas Watson, okay, IBM, if you want to double your if you want to your success, double your failure. Yeah,
To increase
research.
your success, double your
Yes.
failure.
Yes. Thomas
Tama naman
Watson.
din. Correct,
Oh,
correct. Tama din
eh,
naman.
kasi doon ka mag-i-improve eh. Di
Correct,
ba?
correct, correct. Yes. Ayan,
So
sabi rin
tama.
niya, there is a thin borderline that may separate failure from success. No, it's a positive perspective.
Of
Correct.
course, the failure, if you turn it into, yun nga, you either win or you learn. You don't fail. Di ba? You win, and when you don't win, you learn. So when you
Mhm.
learn, you eventually will win. Di ba?
Correct. Ayan.
Di ba?
Sabi dito, Duc in altum. Hindi ko sure kung ano ibig sabihin nun. Pero, we are called into the deep. We should not be content in shallow waters. The mission is in the hard work. Success was never promised. Always strive to do better anyway. Correct.
Correct. Correct. Kaya nga 'di ba yung first slide natin, 'di ba? Yung kay Marcus Aurelius. While
Mhm.
you're in full charge of your faculties, do the best, be your best, 'di ba? Kasi you're not
Yes.
gonna be around forever. Dadating
Correct.
yung panahon na you're losing your mental faculties, physically weaker, physiologically, syempre, everybody. So
Mhm.
while you have it, yun nga, 'di ba? Operate at that level that you're truly capable of.
Full on. Di ba? Yung past
Full
episode
on.
natin. Full on
Exactly.
dapat. Yes,
Full
karirin na
on.
yan. Sabi
Correct.
ni Miss Lai, thank you for the no, next opportunity. Correct.
Yes.
Ayan.
Yes.
Sabi rin ni Buenafe, here's another perspective. Mistakes that resulted in a huge loss should be seen as a huge successful learning instead of failure. Correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
Di ba?
And in fact, sa mga negosyo, no, sinasabi ko rin, no, wala actually negosyo na nalulugi. Meron lang negosyante na natututo. No? Kung ano man yung reason kung bakit nalugi, learn from it. Don't do it again. That consider that as your tuition fee. Okay? Hindi
Correct.
ka nalugi, natuto ka. Consider it as your university. Okay? University
Yes.
of Entrepreneurs. Sabi rin ni
Yeah.
Buenafe, one failure or multiple of it can totally paralyze us if not anchored on the spirit of perseverance. Correct.
Yes. So the meaning is in the struggle. Even on your
Correct.
faith,
Yes.
it is in the struggle that the meaning of life is derived, 'di ba? Or in business, or in any endeavor, 'di
Correct.
ba?
Sabi rin ng isa Facebook user, sabi niya, always have mitigation measures on each risk, then proceed.
Yes, you do what you have to do to mitigate risk, and you accept that there is some risk. You mitigate it, of course. Yeah, that's good, diba? Due diligence. But at the end of the day, there are risks that you do need to take. It may or may not work. There's no such thing as risk-free. No,
Correct. Wala
that's what.
pong
Yeah.
risk-free.
Oh,
Walang
diba?
ganon. Oo,
Oh,
lahat tayo may risk of death.
oh,
Walang makakaligtas dun.
oh, absolutely.
Lahat may risk. Even if you go to college, for example, may risk pa rin dun. Paano kung, 'di ba, bumagsak ka or makakuha ka ng terror teacher, 'di ba? So,
Exactly.
lahat ng bagay may risk, no? Whether trabaho 'yan or negosyo 'yan, no? Lahat merong risk, no? All you have siguro sa mga susunod na episodes, sir, i-discuss natin, no? How do you manage itong sinasabi nga natin na risk? Kasi lahat naman may risk talaga. So,
Meron.
siguro gagawin natin yan. Oo. So, make sure that you subscribe, no? Merong subscribe button dyan sa baba ng YouTube, red button. Libre po mag-subscribe, no? At ang dami nyong matututunan dito sa Truly Happy One. Meron sa YouTube, meron din tayo sa Facebook, yung Facebook group link nasa description nitong video rin nandyan sa baba. So, click nyo lang yan para maging part kayo ng ating Facebook group at wala kayong ma-miss na mga episodes natin. Ayan. May question pa dito, sir. Sabi ni Benefe, how does one bounce back if he is already labeled as a failure?
Well, the direct answer is if you let failure become an identity. Remember, failure is not, it's an act.
Not an
It's an
identity.
event,
Yes.
not an identity. Eh kung si Edison, after the 100th failure, di ba? Sabi niya, failure ako. Sabi nga niya, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found, it took 10,000 failures to find the right way. So depends how you see it, di ba?
Correct.
Di ba? Don't make it your identity. It's the necessary steps for you to get it right. You win or you learn.
Correct. So, if you actually, you will only be a failure if you quit. That's the only way to fail, if you quit.
Correct.
No? The
Correct.
way to bounce back from failure is to stand up again. Do it again, di ba? Try again until you succeed. Di ba?
Correct.
Ayan.
Correct. Correct.
Sabi rin ni Benefe, the simple truth and fact of life is no great success was and will ever be achieved without failure. Correct.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sabi ni Miss Lai, on risk, SAPA-DAPA. Ano yun? Situation, problem,
Situation.
decision, and potential problem analysis.
Of course.
Bago
Yeah.
yan.
Yeah.
SAPA-DAPA. Situation,
Yeah.
problem, decision,
Decision.
and potential problem analysis. Galing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sabi ni Bueneferen, making a change will not be adopted if failure is not taken constructively. Correct.
Yeah.
Failure is,
course.
yun nga, no, yung na-mention nyo kay Thomas Edison, di ba? Imagine niyo na lang yun. Yung panahon ni Thomas Edison, wala pang naimbentong light bulb. Ang ginagamit nila ay kandila or gasera. No, tapos ito si Thomas Edison, tinatry niyang mag-imbento ng light bulb na sabi niya, iilaw daw. Mas effective kaysa sa kandila, mas effective kaysa sa gasera dahil walang usok. Isipin mo, nasa pang 100 experiment na siya or model, fail pa rin. So, malamang yan, sinasabi ng mga kaibigan niya, ano ba to si Tomas? Kung anong ginagawa, nasira na siguro ulo.
Correct. Oh.
Tapos umabot ng 500 experiment, failure pa rin, tumigil pa rin. No? Pero hindi siya nagpadala sa comment ng mga kaibigan niya or ng mga kamag-anak niya na sinasabing, Tomas, hoy, wag mo nang ituloy yan. Failure yan. Nakailang try ka na. Nasa 1,000 try ka na. Failure pa rin. Kung nakinig si Thomas doon, si Thomas Edison, wala tayo ngayon. Walang liwanag ang buhay natin.
Yeah.
Di ba, Enrico?
Absolutely.
Walang light bulb. So, continue lang. You will only be a failure if you quit. Yes. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Lai, there should always be contingency planning.
Of course. Of
And,
course.
ayan, SA, situation analysis.
Of course. Of course.
Sabi ni Bonifay, when playing the blame game, people at fault cannot learn from their failures and are likely to fail. Correct, kasi naghanap sila ng, yun nga, ibang masisisi.
Yep.
Diba?
Yep.
Yan. Ayan, kinumpleto na ni Miss Lai. PA is problem analysis, DA is decision analysis, PA ulit, potential problem analysis.
Okay.
Sapa-dapa. Galing. Yung pala yun,
Yes.
sapa-dapa. Eh, siguro
Yes.
sa mga future episodes natin sa Enrico, invite natin si Miss Lai. Di ba?
Oh,
Para
correct.
discuss
Oh.
yan. Siguro yung mga risk management na topic natin, invite natin si Miss Lai as subject matter expert. Di ba?
Correct. Correct. Good
Exciting
idea,
yan,
Eric.
exciting.
Yep.
Ayan. So, kung gusto nyo na magkaroon tayo ng mga special guest, type nyo dyan sa comment section sa YouTube, no, or sa Facebook. Ayan. So, ang ating next naman na slide ay, ayan, what are your takeaways? No? So, ano ba yung mga lessons na natutunan nyo sa ating topic for today? No? Ako, ang aking takeaway is, if you fail to plan, you actually plan to fail.
Okay.
Di ba?
Correct.
So, Enrico, pag hindi
Correct.
tayo nagplano, na
Correct.
we're actually planning to fail already, no? And
Correct.
wag tayong magkaroon ng mindset na walang effort na mag-try, no? Yung nagkakaroon tayo ng puro analysis na lang, no? Yung analysis paralysis nga na tinatawag natin. Masyado tayong naging over sigurista, no? Wag tayong maging gano'n na hindi na tayo nag-try. Wala tayong mga first steps or first moves, no? So, wag gano'n. Talagang lahat ng success may pagdadaanan, 'di ba? Sa gym for example, 'di ba? Para ka magkaroon ng muscle, kailangan mo mag-lift ng weights, 'di ba? And
Yeah.
yung pag-lift ng weights is actually resistance. It is
Yes.
considered failure, no? Kasi ano pinipilit mo yung muscles mo na i-take yung resistance na yun. And kapag wala yun, kapag walang resistance,
Hindi
walang
mag-grow.
muscle, hindi mag-grow. No, so it's part of really growing, it's part of being successful, it's part of growing us, 'di ba? As a person. And also remember, no, you can only have either excuses or achievements. You cannot have both. No, yung sa kaninang sinasabi ni Sir Enrico na mga secondary na mga activities na hindi naman talaga related sa ating 100% potential, no, yung full on na tinatawag. Ako ang consideration ko doon, those are just excuses. Okay?
Correct.
So, yung mga excuses na yan, it's either you have that excuses or you have achievements. So, once
Results.
tinanggal mo yung results, no, achievements, once tinanggal mo yung excuses, then you will have results. You will have achievements. No? So, very important po yan. Tanggalin lahat ng mga excuses para magkaroon tayo ng results and achievements. And, yun nga, yung last slide natin, no? Take risks. No? Walang success na hindi zero risk. No? Walang zero risk. Take risk pero do calculated risks. And para alam natin paano ba tong calculated risk na to, paano ba mag-manage nitong risk na to, make sure na nakasubscribe kayo dito sa ating Truly Happy One. Merong subscribe button dyan sa YouTube, libre po yan. Or join yung ating Facebook group dahil sa mga susunod na mga episodes natin, i-discuss natin yung managing risks na yan. Tama ba, Sir Enrico?
Wala na ako madagdag. You got it perfect. Exactly. Yeah, yun yung takeaway talaga. You are planning to fail. Yun. Sinabi mo, Eric, the will to fail. Dahil hindi ka
Yes.
nagplano, ang intention mo is hindi ka mag-succeed.
Correct.
Yun nga. Magfe-fail ka. Wala kang plano eh. Di ba? Siyempre.
Correct. Ayan.
Tama.
Sabi ng ating Facebook user, sabi niya, for us in the transport sector, where there is will, there is a
There's a
way.
way.
With a willpower, you can roll over any problem all around any obstacle or hurdle. Correct. No?
Kilala
Ayan.
ko
May
ata
question si
to.
question din si Buenafe, which is likely to fail, sir? A project done solo or a project done by a team?
Well, it can succeed whether you're by yourself, or of course it's always good to work with a team so that you get, a broader perspective that helps you see some things that you might not be seeing, diba? But you can succeed on your own, and of course, the greater success will almost always involve some team, official and unofficial. What do I mean? You can have a team unofficially, people who are supporting you, encouraging you, celebrating your effort, the failures that you go through, and encouraging you to go further. That could be your unofficial team. So you're always really working as a team, not really just on your own, right?
Correct. Ayan. Sabi dito, for the English, kids can play in the mud. It makes them stronger daw. Sa Pinas, takot ang parents. Madapuhan ng alikabok ang bata. In a way, teaches the child to fear failure.
Yeah.
Anong comment
Yeah.
niyo dyan, sir?
Yes. Yun nga, 'di ba? Again, I don't know, maybe in my generation, ang pag tinanong, 'di ba? Kaya hanggang ngayon ginagamit 'yun eh. Gusto mo matutong mag-swimming, kailangan tumikim ka ng tubig. Yeah, the point is, until you let go of the floaters or the lifesaver or somebody teaching you, and you don't experience some drinking water, then you will never learn how to swim or bike. Kailangan masugatan ka muna. May gasgas
Correct.
dito.
Oo.
Oh, 'di ba? Kasama
Madadapa ka
'yun.
muna several times. Correct.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Ayan.
Sabi ni
Anyway.
Benefe, to succeed, one has to eliminate the many ways that made the project fail and find the only way by which it will succeed.
Yeah, and you only find that out if you keep trying, if you keep trying, if you keep adjusting, you keep adjusting, di ba?
Correct.
You just keep doing that, and because you want to operate at your what you're capable of. Kaya nga relevant talaga to, 'di ba? Yung sinabi ni Eric, kung wala kang plano, you're planning to fail.
Correct. Ayan, sabi rin
Yun
dito,
yun.
an English proverb, and actually, I think lyrics din sa isang kanta, whatever won't kill you makes you stronger.
Of
Ayan.
course.
Be
Yeah.
reasonably responsible for your past failures for future success. Correct.
Yes, of
Ayan.
course. Of
It is
course.
said, a fall in the pit is a gain in wit.
Of
Correct.
course.
Galing.
Of course.
Yan,
Kilala
galing
ko
ng
'yan.
ating mga listeners. Yes, thank you very much, no? And ang ating topic next episode ay ayan, konting intro dito, sir.
Okay, this is nothing new. And I think we touched on this in another of our training, but really leadership as leadership para sa organization or even in the community and success, is it really, are you born with it? Is it, 'di ba, nature, or can it be nurtured? In other words, can you learn to become a leader? Kasi the debate is, hindi, born leader 'yan. Or hindi naman born leader 'yan pero became a good leader. So nature or nurture? 'Di ba? And it's an
Correct.
interesting discussion because you might be quite surprised. Some of the greatest leaders we had were not born with it. So there's hope
Wow.
for many people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Correct. Ayan, napaka-exciting ng topic na yan. So abangan niyo po yan, that's our next episode. So let's end our episode with our usual panatang makabayan. So itaas po natin ang ating kanang kamay at bigkasin ang panatang makabayan. Iniibig ko ang Pilipinas, aking lupang sinilangan, tahanan ng aking lahi. Kinukupkup ako at tinutulungan upang maging malakas, masipag at marangal. Dahil mahal ko ang Pilipinas, diringgin ko ang payo ng aking mga magulang. Susundin ko ang tuntunin ng lipunan. Tutuparin ko ang tungkulin ng mamamayang makabayan. Naglilingkod, nag-aaral at nagdarasal ng buong katapatan. Ialay ko ang aking buhay, pangarap at pagsisikap sa bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po for joining us dito sa Truly Happy One. See you again next